Okay, so part 3 assault review. The other big plot hole is okay, and this is another one. It's hard to explain because as a member of the audience, I'm not sure exactly what the hell's going on, and I was able to sit through and watch Inception, and everything made sense in Inception. So it's not me, it's the movie. Uh, when she's first confronted, they have this Russian, which you see in the trailer. Uh, the Evelyn Salt is Russian agent. I'm Evelyn Salt. Then you are Russian agent. Okay, she is kind of aware. She's aware. We're not told this about till way into the movie that yes, she is a Russian agent, and she was aware she was a Russian agent the entire time. We're not presented as that. It's not like one of those movies where it's again Mongolian candidate type stuff like, oh yeah, I was brainwashed and they completely wiped this from my mind. I was subconsciously acting. No, but yes. So instead of and this turns out to be her being told what her mission's going to be. So when she's sat down and going to be questioned, she immediately tries to escape because her husband's not heard of. She can't hear from her husband. So instead of going through the half-hour probably debriefing and this going, well, this guy's crazy. He's spreading disinformation. He knows that I'm a CIA agent, and they're trying to so descend. And she probably would have been let go in a half hour or so. Yeah, they want to debrief her. Oh. Cherry Coke time. Delicious. But no, she immediately tries to escape, has to fight off a TAC team in her. I'm not even sure what city it starts off in. I think it's supposed to be New York, but I'm not sure. It might be Washington. Or it might be Russia, but everyone speaks perfect English and has no Russian accents except for the one guy, Orlov, who later turns out to be the Russian spy master. Who apparently, well, no, I'll get into that. But so she says he's just trying to escape to find her husband, make sure he's safe. In reality, she knows she's supposed to assassinate the Russian president, but she never really goes. But we're never. That's the problem. We're never told her motivations. Her husband being a entomologist who studies spiders. She takes one of the spiders and later uses it to create a parasitic bullet somehow. I don't know, and shoots the Russian president with it, which is another big plot hole. This I love because she basically launches an attack on this cathedral filled with Secret Service, and basically makes the Russian president fall through the floor. Now, mind you, she had to rely on him standing still at this podium for about 10 or 15 seconds while all this crazy stuff's happening. And first of all, nobody goes, and as soon as explosions start happening, oh, they cover the U.S. president, but nobody runs to save the Russian president. I would have at least assumed he would have had his own bodyguards with him. Or if not, there would be Secret Service agents who said, don't worry about the U.S. president, your job is to protect the Russian president today. Even though I'm pretty sure the Russian president would still have his own FSB bodyguards or Kremlin guards, whoever guards the Russian president when he's overseas. But no. He doesn't himself move out of this spot. Out of the raised platform where any sniper could get him. He stands there for a good 15 seconds, drops through the floor, and she shoots him. It later turns out to this be something that makes him completely paralyzed to the point where they think he's dead. And so they send him off to Russia. And apparently, they don't show this, but somewhere along the trip, he wakes up and it's like, no, I was paralyzed. Way to go. But again, so much plot contrivance just to make that work. This grand plan just relied on him sitting there for 15 seconds as all hell broke loose and not, duck or move slightly to the right or even to the left. No, just sit there, Mr. Russian President. Sit there and take the bullet. That'll do. It was bad. That was a highly contrived scene. But anyway, she winds up escaping from the CIA place in another kind of contrived. I shouldn't complain about this too much, but still, I wish I had clips to show you and kind of point out the ridiculousness. She builds grenade launcher out of a freaking fire extinguisher. I don't know what to say to that. Because who knows, maybe that was an actual MacGyver thing and you can actually do that. But still, So she goes and assassinates, and then she goes, yes, I am a Russian agent. She goes and meets up with Orlov, the Russian spy master, somewhere, I guess, in the port of New York, New Jersey. Again, location-wise, we have no idea where the hell we are. Even when they finally make it clear we're in D.C. eventually, D.C. keeps on changing. When she enters the White House, it's implied it's winter, but there's no snow anywhere. When she leaves the White House, everywhere is covered in snow. Did that scene take place over like the course of a week or something? I mean, with the editing, you figure they would catch that. That, hey, all the scenes we shot at DC before where there wasn't any snow? There's a bunch of snow on the ground. Should we have anybody clear the snow out? So, no. We'll just leave it and assume no one's going to notice. Well, I noticed. So, fuck you, movies. Fuck you, editors. I mean, really. I'm getting off topic from what I wanted to get to. What the hell was I talking about? There's so many plot holes in this movie. Anyway, she then reveals, and then we meet all these characters, who apparently we got flashbacks to earlier, real quick, when Orlov was giving this interrogation. But they're not really characters, but then all of a sudden the movie starts treating like we as the audience know these guys and recognize them. When she's going to the White House, she meets the Czech officer, who's undercover as well. And he's got a scar. And apparently, in the flashback, there was one character that had a scar, and he goes, "Don't you remember me?" "Oh, yes, comrade, whatever. You have a scar." And for the rest of the time, the movie kind of treats it like we're supposed to know and care about this. All we know about this guy is what he just said, and the fact that in the flashback, in which we really didn't even notice, there was one guy that had a kid that had a scar. Makes no fucking sense. Again, it's just kind of thrown at us, no character development. We're supposed to just accept it. Horribly done. Horribly done. But the action scenes are somewhat entertaining, so if you're ignoring the plot, this movie can be watchable. If you just want to see a Jolie movie, this movie can be watchable. Which is why I'm not saying not to go see it, although I'm leaning that way. But this isn't an absolutely hate of a film. I was slightly entertained. Not much to say about the musical score. Well, wait a minute. I just remembered. Her husband, after doing all this searching, she finds him, and they just kind of... She walks down, and we're not even shown him at first. We're just kind of immediately jump cut to him shot, or just been shot. Like, there was no... And it was just a poorly... Because this is why she's been supposedly doing it, and everything she does, she winds up taking down all these Russian guys afterwards, like she's a traitor to them. But we're supposed to be, this is supposed to be an emotional scene for us. She's supposed to hide her emotion of this being shot, but she still... He should have been let down. She should have looked up and seen him and walked. This is not how it's done in the movie. Literally, we see her. She walks down some stairs, and there's an immediate jump cut. He's it's in the middle of the gunshot. And he falls dead, and she has to, not show the emotion that she cared, although we see the emotion, but she doesn't react to it, because she knows if she does, everyone will shoot her, because then they realize that she's not really with them. She's only going with them in order to break up the whole organization. But still, we should have been shown him. She should have noticed him, like, oh my, he's here, he's alive. Maybe Orlov is letting him live as a reward for her doing a good job, because he thinks she assassinated the Russian president. But no. We don't get that tension or any build-up or really even much development on this character. I mean, they have... Again, we're almost at the 10-minute mark. I'm going to finish this up in part 4 because I'm pretty much done.